Rachel Zegler is toxic to every single project she touches, and she has already been part of a few box office failures, but the next film that she's in to release is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and while we've all been speculating how much PR they are going to be doing for this movie because of the controversies that she's in, they've now released brand new character posters, and hers is getting absolutely destroyed on social media. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So, of course, we are only a few months away from this Hunger Games film releasing. It comes out on November 17th. It doesn't look at this point like it's going to get delayed, like a lot of films in Hollywood right now, but they decided to post some new character posters on social media, and they are getting absolutely destroyed. Now, of course, this Hunger Games film was always bound to be a little bit more controversial because the previous Hunger Games movies did so well, and people are so used to, Jennifer Lawrence's Katniss. But unfortunately, this is a prequel, and when it comes to prequels, sometimes they can be really good, sometimes they can also be really bad. The only one that I will give this movie is that Suzanne Collins, the author of Hunger Games, did work closely on this, just like the other movies. But at the same time, this was bound to be a little bit more controversial because the settings are not as grand, a lot of the costumes are not as grand, and this is closer to the beginning of Pan Am, so everything just kind of feels a little bit like a clusterfuck, like it's thrown together, and a lot of people have said that, most notably about the costumes. The costumes in this film, while yes, they are on theme for this time in the Hunger Games universe, look a little bit crazy, and like the costuming department went cuckoo, but now that we have seen Rachel Zegler's full poster, people are roasting it. So I don't actually necessarily think that the background looks that terrible, but it definitely does feel very, I'm not Katniss, but also I'm taking Katniss's place, right? I'm the poster girl for this movie. We've got the Mockingjay in the background, definitely a symbol of rebellion, because that is Lucy Gray's character. And even recently, we heard the director of this film say that Rachel Zegler's Lucy Gray is so different from Katniss because she wears sexuality on her sleeve, and a lot of people were like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna go see this movie anyway, and that sentiment is definitely being carried on now that the posters have been released. People are saying things like, not good, but okay, no thanks, we were expecting the best and got the worst. More press tour gold. Now, obviously, Hollywood is in shambles right now. The strikes are still going on, and Rachel Zegler herself has gone into strikes and into interviews and made sure the camera always picks up on her when she's there, and she's, said, I'm an actor and I deserve to get paid for every piece of work that I do. So she's not doing any press for this movie unless they already have previously filmed press, and I don't think that they're going to do that. I think it's just going to be the director. But I think that is probably good for them, seeing as how much controversy she is, encircled in right now. But even though she's not going into interviews and saying anything, I don't think it's going to change the outcome of this movie. Obviously, it's Hunger Games. People have a lot of love and nostalgia for Hunger Games. Now, I like Hunger Games, don't get me wrong, but I will not be seeing this movie because of Rachel Zegler. And a lot of other people feel the same way because of her Snow White comments and the comments that she's made about, the fan bases, and specifically male fans, whether you're a male fan of Disney content or of Snow White, and even going into something like the Hunger Games. I mean, only a few weeks ago, she had posted very demeaning things about men on social media, basically saying men are stupid, men are dumb, fuck men. They were reposts from a Lady Gaga fan account, and she posted several of them. So with the male fans, I know that she's definitely in the hot seat, but also with women like me, I had had a lot of love and nostalgia for Snow White. I will not be watching the remake or monetarily supporting the new Snow White remake because of the things that she has said, and I really have no interest in monetarily supporting the Hunger Games, or specifically this Hunger Games project, because of her. And a lot of people definitely agree, saying things like, pass, this definitely wasn't the direction I was expecting, but get woke, go broke. There's even people reposting all of her controversial interviews on this thread because she really has made herself so unlikable. She simply could have stayed quiet about Snow White. If she doesn't like Snow White and she had kept it to herself, it is what it is. But when you're playing a character, people expect you to have a certain level of respect for that character in the franchise that you are now part of. And she just doesn't care. She thinks that she is like the next big thing in Hollywood. She's the best thing created since sliced cheese, that she is going to be like this untouchable actress forever. But she has been in several movies that have failed at this point. West Side Story did okay monetarily. It did very good review-wise. But again, it wasn't a movie that, blew every other film that year out of the water when it came out. She, of course, was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and that was, a failure at the box office. It barely made back its budget. She is going to be in the upcoming Snow White movie that I do think is going to bomb because of her. And this Hunger Games movie, while we do not have any projections yet because it still is a little bit too early, I think it will do good because it's Hunger Games. But I also think throughout the entirety of its box office run, people are going to be on social media posting about how just mediocre of an actress she is and how she has kind of poisoned this project. And she's just toxic to every project she touches. She has ruined any chance that she had at making things better because she has constantly poked and prodded at the people that she's upset. It would be one thing if those interviews from last year had came out, they had resurfaced, and she had said nothing, but instead she posted those videos about, screw men, men are stupid, men are dumb, men are ugly, and then she had went out and made sure the paparazzi had taken a photo of her wearing the sweater that said "No tears left to cry" amidst all of the controversy that she's created for herself and her project. So she really only has herself to blame for everything that's going on right now. But yeah, I just don't see this getting any better for her or for this movie, and I think that companies are going to quickly realize how toxic she is to everything that she touches. We know that Disney is also going to be having crisis talks over the Snow White remake, reboot, live action, whatever they want to call it at this point, because of all of the controversy that she has found herself wrapped up in. But the next movie that she is in that is coming out is The Hunger Games. We'll have to see if it does really good because the Hunger Games name, or if people do really decide to boycott it because Rachel Zegler is one of the leads. But this new character poster has been circulating online, and people are saying that not only does her costume look bad, but they don't want to support the movie because she is in it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.